Newsmax brought a farmer on to praise Donald Trump's bailout plan. Instead, he tore Donald Trump apart. Now, as you know, right now, Donald Trump's tariffs are destroying farmers. China has not bought a single soybean this quarter, and they're our largest export market. And farmers are hurting, and Donald Trump has a plan to send them some of the tariff money. Well, Newsmax brought a farmer on to praise those tariffs, but it went a little differently than planned.
I'm paying that tariff because my importer, John Deere, paid it. They paid it directly to the Treasury. Now, the President of the United States is going to take my money and give it back to me and call it a bailout? That's just comical.
Yeah, they're going to take my money. My inputs have been raised. I'm paying these tariffs. You're giving me my money back and you want me to thank you? Newsmax tried to get praise for Dear Leader. Instead, it backfired beautifully. And that is well done by this farmer. Donald Trump is doing nothing to help them, only hurt them, and even they are calling it out.
The man did it last time. Like, I'm trying to understand what the hell do they think was going to happen. And Vice President Kamala Harris kept saying his tariffs are going to cause prices to rise and farmers go out of business. Oh, no, she's not telling the truth. Okay.
But they're going out of business. And like I said, the whole deal with the president is they got a whole real estate arm that's going to be buying up the land, people. And Roland, the last time I was on your show, I was saying to Black America, we need to be prepared to buy some land and group and start buying some of this land because it's going to be on the sale block here real shortly. The market is not going to come back in 30 days. I'm sorry, it's not. And those guys cannot sell soybeans for $10 a bushel because that's what the market is, Roland. $5 for wheat, $4 for corn. Guess what? I was selling grain in the early 80s, man, for just under that. And here it is, the year 2025, and this president is taking us to the lowest grain prices in history and the highest input. Nobody's talking about that. The highest input costs in history for farmers are right now under the 9 months of this president. This guy came into office in 9-10 months and caused complete havoc for white America and white rural America in this country. And guess what? We need to be in a position to go in there and start winning some of these states to come up with a platform to steal some of these people, whether we like them or not. They're down there voting in them red states, and we need to start winning some of the red states. And guess what? The Democrats should be saying, healthcare, you know what? And we coming back in rural America, we got a plan to help some farmers out here because we want them votes too.
But see, John, to be honest, here's my problem. These white, and I'm specifically saying white farmers for a reason. Because let me be real clear.
But they dogged us, as you know, bro.
Them damn white farmers wasn't standing up for y'all.
They dogged
them damn white farmers, they weren't saying Stephen Miller is unfair, blocking that $5 billion going to black Latino farmers. No, they wasn't saying a damn thing. They were like, that's y'all Negro farmers. We don't care. But see, so my problem is they want Democrats to now bail them out.
Yes. So
they can go right back and vote for MAGA policies.
But let's go over the whole thing. I'm glad you raised that flag. Let's go over the whole thing. They didn't want to pay blacks to work on farms. That's the first thing. That's what got white people in trouble in this country. When they ran blacks off the farm, they wanted us to be sharecroppers and all this stuff. They didn't pay us then. They stole our land.
Republican Senator John Toon says we have to bail out soybean farmers. You mean the farmers that voted for what's happening? Either you bail out all Americans or nobody gets a bailout. I know I certainly didn't vote for the farmers not being able to sell their soybeans. I voted for somebody that was going to allow them to sell their soybeans. And furthermore, hey farmers, maybe grow something that you could sell domestically. Oh, you're too used to living off the government teat with soybeans, aren't you? See guys, the government always guarantees these farmers a profit. And I'm sure they work their books just right to where they get the profit and the government. But I'm done living in a society where some people have health care and some people don't. I'm done with, oh, we'll bail out the farmers, but the rest of America needs to suffer. I didn't vote for this. I didn't vote for people to be starving, to be hurting, to have less than. But you did, MAGA. You did, the hundreds of thousands of farmers that are now suffering, that are now worried of how they're going to keep their land and pass their generational farms down. If they bail out the farmers and they don't bail out everybody, we must protest.
Hey folks, welcome back to Economic Vibes. I hope everyone is doing okay out there, staying grounded, hydrated and aware. because the political noise is loud this week. Today, we are diving into the chaos surrounding Trump's new proposed bailout for farmers. Yes, another one, and how this moment is exposing something much deeper about America's relationship with race, land, and power. And while MAGA-aligned farmers are panicking about collapsing grain prices, legendary farmer advocate John Boyd is giving the Black community some of the most practical, forward-thinking advice we've heard in years. Buy the land while they panic. As always, credit to the creators and stitches who surfaced this story. Without independent media voices, moments like this will quietly disappear. So let's just dive into the rest of the video and we'll be back for more commentary.
He comes out and says that he's going to use tariff revenue to bail them out. But who pays for that tariff?
The other thing about this is this guy said in there that, he supports farmers getting bailed out, and appreciate that. But I feel like I'm seeing like this talk about the government coming and bail farmers out more and more. And like, I know it's tough out here in the ag economy and it's tough out there in the regular economy, but I don't see personally and hear personally a bunch of farmers screaming from the rooftops that they need aid and they need assistance and that they're not going to make it and the government needs to come and bail us out. I don't see that actually being said from the farmers. What I think is actually happening is I think the mega corporations, the big ag corporations that sell a bunch of their stuff to farmers so that they can put a crop in the ground or raise livestock, whatever, are lobbying hard for a bailout for the farmers. Because guess what happens every time the government gives farmers any money? You think that the farmer just takes that and runs with it? No. The next year, input costs go up. Go way up, because those corporations know if the farmers get more money from the government, they can raise their prices, they can take it. They'll take it. They'll take it right back. So it's really a way for the corporations, the big corporations in agriculture, to give them an excuse to raise their prices and take all that government assistance and put it right back in their pocket. So we're not screaming from the fucking rooftops, come bail us out, because we know exactly what happens when that happens. It doesn't stay with us. It doesn't stay with us. It goes right back to the ag corporations that we rely on to put a crop in the ground. So, yeah, that's just my 2 cents coming from a farmer. The rest of it, it's your opinion, but I just wanted to add that to you.
Why should American taxpayers bail out farmers who are hurting because of the president's tariff policies?
Well, look, I think that the farmers, and I represent a lot of them, and they want nothing more than open markets. There are markets right now that aren't open to some of our commodities. As a consequence of that, we've got a big harvest coming in here in South Dakota, corn and soybeans, and no place to go with it. So what the president has said is, I'm going to support and I'm going to help our farmers. And so we are looking at, I'm a member of the Senate Ag Committee, have been for some time, and we're looking at potential solutions to make sure that we can help support farmers until some of those markets come back. I think part of it is that the president's trying to achieve with his trade policy reciprocity with countries that have been taking advantage of us for a long time. And I think most of us support that. I think a lot of our farmers support that. They are anxious. They want to see markets opened up. And so when I speak to the president and his team about this, I always reiterate the importance of keeping agriculture front and center when you're negotiating trade deals. But at the end of the day, our farmers are probably going to need some financial...
Welcome back, guys. So here's the picture. Trump's own trade and tariff policies, the same ones he once claimed will make America win again, are now driving American farmers into bankruptcy. You've got soybean prices falling to record lows, wheat and corn not far behind, and now Trump's team is talking about a massive bailout, not because of some of some global crisis, but because of policies he personally designed. Farmers in places that voted red across the Midwest are waking up to a hard truth. When you corner yourself economically in the name of political loyalty, the market doesn't care about slogans. Tariffs were sold as economic patriotism, but all they really did was shut America out of its own export game. Over on Newsmax, it got awkward fast. They brought on a farmer expecting him to thank Trump for saving agriculture. Instead, the guy called the bailout exactly what it is, a refund on your own suffering. He said, "My importer paid the tariff. That's my money. You are giving back and calling it help?" That's a brutal truth bomb on live conservative TV. And that moment matters because it cut through the illusion that this bailout is generosity. It's not. It's economic triage for policies that failed. This isn't leadership, it's damage control, and rural America is paying the price for believing the myth that owning the lips was an economic strategy. Meanwhile, John Boyd, president of the National Black Farmers Association, is looking at this chaos with a strategist's eye. He's saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, while the market collapses, we should be ready to buy the land. It's a bold, pragmatic idea. Because for generations, black farmers were systemically pushed off their land through discriminatory loans, government neglect, and outright thefts. And now, the same system that ignored them is starting to crumble on the other side. Boyd isn't celebrating anyone's pain. He's pointing to opportunity. Land ownership is power. And if this crisis opens doors for marginalized groups to reclaim even a fraction of what was lost, then maybe, just maybe, this collapse can serve as a turning point. But let's also be honest, there's a bitter moral irony here. When federal relief was proposed for Black and Latino farmers, money that was supposed to correct decades of discrimination, many of these same MAGA farmers stayed silent. Some even supported the lawsuits that blocked it. Now they want the same government they distrust to save them. The same big government they mocked as a socialist is suddenly their safety net. That's the real hypocrisy of MAGA populism. It sells rebellion against the system until the rebellion burns down the very farm it was meant to protect. Here's a deeper layer. America's entire agricultural model has always mirrored its racial and political divides. White farmers were subsidized into generational wealth. Black farmers were systemically stripped of it. And now in 2025, as market collapse and bailout roll in, the playing field might finally start to shift. If Black America listens to voices like John Boyd and moves strategically. Because while MAGA farmers are busy blaming everyone but themselves, the real visionaries are quietly preparing for ownership, not outrage. So maybe this moment isn't just about another bailout. Maybe it's about who is finally ready to build something sustainable when the noise dies down. That's it for today's Echo Room Vibes. Drop your thoughts below. Do you think these bailouts actually help, or are they just political theater? And shout out again to the creators who stitched and amplified this story. Stay aware, stay grounded, and I'll catch you in the next one from Echo Room Vibes. Peace out.